Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're out here with Tequila and, of course, Whiskey today because we're just going to talk a little bit about what are the most essential commands for your livestock guardian to learn. And there are a few of them. There's about 6 that most livestock guardian trainers will tell you your dog absolutely should know. There's, of course, a bunch of optional stuff, and you can teach them to do tricks and stuff like that. But there are 6 very essential skills that your livestock guardian dog needs to master before you start leaving them alone with, your farm animals. There are a few things your livestock guardian needs to learn. Now, one caveat here. As anyone who's ever trained livestock guardians will know, sometimes when you're training your livestock guardian, they basically say, sorry, leave a message, I'll get back to you later. That happens sometimes. I had somebody ask, look, sometimes my livestock guardian just kind of ignores me. Yeah, they're trained to be independent, so sometimes they literally just go, not right now, I'm busy, thanks. So if your dog does that, just, kind of just come back and try it again later. Because, yeah, it happens, okay? So anyone who says their livestock guardian has never just ignored me, yeah, they have. It happens. Hi, sweetie. So, what are these 6 things that your livestock guardian should learn? Okay, so I'm just going to move into the shade because it's actually a hot day, so you're moving into the shade too. We're all moving into the shade. It's fun. So, the first thing, he's rolling. Rolling is not something your livestock guardian needs to know. They'll roll on their own. They don't need any help. So, the first thing that I like to teach my dogs, and it's because it's really easy to teach, and it's really a good skill, is look here. So, Tequila, look here. Good girl. Whiskey, look here. Good boy. So, it's a really good skill. It's a really important skill. It seems like it isn't, okay? It seems like, why do you want them to look at you? What's the big deal? Why not just call them back? But sometimes I want to give her direction or give her some guidance or get her attention or maybe even just get her to look at me instead of look at the dang squirrel she's looking at right now. Yeah, it's a squirrel. But maybe I just want her attention for a second. Maybe I don't need her to come to me. Hey, big butt. Maybe I don't need her to come all the way over to me. Maybe I just need her to pay attention for 1 second so I can tell her something. So that's where, Tequila, look here. Good girl. See, that's where it comes in handy. She doesn't need to get up. She doesn't need to stop what she's doing. She just needs to pay attention for a second. And then I will let her know what I want. And then once I've let her know what I want, she can go and do whatever she was doing. It doesn't mean play stops. It doesn't mean we're going in the house. It doesn't mean anything other than I need you to pay attention for 1 second. Okay? So what you do is you use a high-pitched voice. I will go into detail on how to do this, but use a high-pitched voice, say your dog's name, and look here. When they look here, you reward them. So you would do it with them right next to you so you can reach for a treat. Okay? She'll do it now from anywhere because we've done it since she was a puppy. So look here is essential for, I think, all dogs. Livestock guardians especially, because sometimes they're working in the field and you just want them to pay attention for a minute. But yes, sometimes, even with other dogs that are not livestock guardians, you want them to look at you and pay attention. Okay? So yes, it's important that your dog can look here, pay attention to you for a minute, and then go back to what they're doing. The second skill that is absolutely imperative and needs to be taught to all dogs, come. Okay? Come is absolutely necessary. And it doesn't matter if it's a livestock guardian or not. Come is something they need to be able to do every single time. You might need to stop your dog from doing what it's doing. That's important. Okay, so you want to stop your dog. Whiskey, do not roll in that. So you might need to stop your dog from doing what they're doing. You might need to call them off from chasing a squirrel. You might need to tell them to come because they're about to run into traffic. There are a lot of reasons why your dog might have to come. Okay, and teaching come is actually really easy. You just need to call their name, right? Like, we always do Tequila. Whiskey, come! Good boy, he got distracted. Good girl, Tequila. Good boy, Whiskey. It's okay if he gets distracted. I don't care. Puppies, come. So now they'll just follow me. Okay, so now they're just following me. Good dogs. So I use puppies when we're talking about more than one of them. If I only need a specific dog, I use their name. And come is so easy to teach, and it's easy to reinforce because you have snacks. If you have snacks, you can teach come. So all dogs, not just Tequila, not just Whiskey, all dogs should know how to come. Okay? Also, there's a fly bugging me. Stop bugging me. So, the third thing is sit. Okay? So, Tequila, sometimes Tequila won't do it. Tequila, sit. Oh, you want to go sit up there? I don't want to go in the house. But good girl. She's like, I sat, but I'm not sitting out there. She wants to go in the house. She's done being in the sun. So, okay. Sit is really important because it itself is not important. It's not important that your dog knows how to sit on command. It's not really that big a deal. But the reason why we teach sit and why I think it's one of those essential skills is simply because it's a precursor to stay. So Whiskey. Whiskey. Hey. Thank you. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. So it's really important that they know how to sit because it's a precursor to stay. All right? It is easier to learn stay from a seated position like Whiskey here or a laying down position like Tequila here than it is from a standing position. So teach your dog to sit, maybe lay down, but definitely teach your dog to sit. And then you can teach stay, which then brings us to teaching stay. Oh boy, is stay important. Stay is arguably one of the most important things you can teach your dog. Okay? Because stay is a safety thing. All right? You might be saying stay. Hi, guy. Yeah, you're Smiley. So you might say stay because there's a danger, right? So you want your dog to stop. Stay is stopping, right? That's what it is. Thank you. What? What? Oh, I see it. Okay, you go tell him. So she's telling the neighbor dog. She's telling the neighbor dog that they need to stay in their own yard. Okay, that's what she's doing. She's doing her job. That's exactly what she's supposed to do. She sees the neighbor dog, and so she's telling the neighbor dog, stay in your own yard. This is her yard, and she doesn't want anybody in her yard. Good girl. Yep, good girl. When she does that, she's alerting. Good girl. Good girl, Tequila. Good girl. Are you the best girl? So when she does that, yes, we did it in the middle of the video. She did it. She told me what was happening and that there's a dog down there. And I can see the dog on the other side of the trees who's now leaving. Good girl, Tequila. So Tequila's like, yep, I did my job. Good girl. What a good dog. Yeah, what a good dog. So no matter when she does that, we stop and tell her she's such a good dog. Because that's your job. Yes, it is. Good girl. Good girl. Good boy, Whiskey. Even though you didn't do a dang thing. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, so that was a little bit of an interruption, but an important demonstration of her doing her job. Okay? She saw the neighbor's dog, and she doesn't want the neighbor's dog in her yard because her neighbor's dog is aggressive with the chickens. So she tells that dog, you're going home. That's just the way it is. She did a very good job. You're going to get treats. Yeah, you're going to get treats when we go in. So, anyway, back to the stay command. Stay is important for everyone's safety. You might tell her to stay because she shouldn't be chasing a chicken. You might tell her to stay because she shouldn't chase a squirrel. You might tell her to stay because there's something dangerous like a pack of coyotes or even a skunk. You don't want to get sprayed by a skunk. So if your dog has a really good stay reflex, then you don't have to worry as much. You could just tell them to stay and they'll stay. Stay is a stop command. Okay, some people like to use stop instead of stay. That's fine too. As long as you have a command that stops your dog in their tracks. So stop, stay, whatever word you want to use. Hi, buddy. You do need to be able to do it. Okay? So, number 5, leave it. Dogs need to know leave it. You don't have to say leave it. You can use any command you like. But leave it is important because, one, again, what if they're chasing the chickens? A good leave it is a good command. You know, just leave it alone. We're not touching it. Or there might be, again, a skunk. Leave it. Leave the skunk. Definitely leave the skunk alone. Or even just something they're about to eat that they really shouldn't eat. Okay, dogs eat everything, so it's not really a bad idea to have a command that'll stop your dog from eating something. And we're going to take a stick. Stick time. Whiskey always starts stick time. So, leave it is incredibly important. Tequila wins stick time. So the 6th thing that you need to do, the 6th command that I believe is essential to a dog, especially livestock guardian dogs. Remember, they're huge, right? Like, she's a big dog. She's only 6 months old as of this taping right now. And look at how big she is. He's fully grown, by the way. He's going to be 8 years old. So she's only 6 months old, and look at how big she is. Okay, she is well over 60 pounds, and she's 6 months old. She's not a small dog. So what is the thing that she needs to be able to do because of her size? Off. She needs to know, because she's going to be so big that it would be difficult for your grandma to push her off. Okay? You don't want your grandma having to try to push her off the couch. So a good off, whether it's off of a person, so don't jump up, is what off can mean. Or maybe it's a get off the couch because there's way too many people and you don't get to sit on the couch right now. Get off the couch, so a quick off, and they get off the couch. This is an important command because of these dogs' size. Okay? She's not a Chihuahua or a Spaniel. You're not going to just scoop her up and put her on the floor. She's too big for that. So you do need a good off command. So you should practice off often because she's a fantastic dog. But she's big. She takes up more than half the couch now when she sits on it. So I need a reliable way to get her off the couch. Now, she's allowed on the couch, but sometimes I need her to get off. So that's where the off command comes in. Because she's a big girl, and she absolutely needs to make sure she can get off the couch without me dragging her. She's too big to drag. Even now at 6 months old, way too big to drag, aren't you, sweetheart? So those are the 6 commands I think are really important, and a lot of trainers, a lot of people who train livestock guardians will agree with those 6 because they are really important for a livestock guardian specifically. Now, for training other dogs, some of those commands, you might not care if you have a look here command. That might not matter to you. It's important for livestock guardians. Remember, I am specifically talking about training a livestock guardian to be out with your animals, not about a golden doodle whose job is to nap on the couch all day. So that's about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Next week we will talk about some other commands you might want to teach but are not nearly as essential as the 6 we covered today. We'll see you tomorrow.